Welcome, you lovers of sex and pleasure. This is Sex Talk with Khrys. I am Crystal Jones, your favorite intimacy and sex coach. We are here today to talk about your desire plan, your pleasure plan, how to really get the sex life you want and the one we all know you crave. We get older and we forget that we get to define and write our own sex life. But a lot of times we don't do that because it comes with a lot of different faces, I could say, because it doesn't take just you. It takes you pulling your partner in, conversations. It takes a lot of different things, and we're going to hit on a few of those. Why do you need a pleasure plan? So I'm going to ask, are you enjoying the sex life that you currently have? Are you excited about the different environment and spaces that this engagement takes place in? Are you in a point in your life where your sex life is what you really crave and what you really want? Or is it something that you're just accepting because it's what's given? When we design our pleasure plan, it comes with some questions. It comes with some responsibilities. So let me ask, if you could write your pleasure plan, what would it look like? First, we have to do some check-in with ourselves. Are we really satisfied? Do we like what's really happening with ourselves and our partners? Because it's not just independent play or partnered play. All of it matters. All of it counts. When we really focus and really pay attention to what's happening in our sex life and say, this is what I want, and say it with our chest and confidently, some great things can happen. So let's take a deep dive right quick. What are you craving right now within your sex life? What is it that you really want? So I'll ask for myself. I want connection. I want sex that is so good each and every time. I don't want mundane. I don't want every day. I want, when it happened, explosiveness. That's what I need. That's what I crave. Second question, what turns you on? I know for me, a couple of things. I enjoy soft kisses on the back of my neck. I enjoy being whispered to in my ear. I enjoy being grabbed and pulled in. I enjoy all of those things. Now, you can't write this plan without knowing that information. And if you don't know that information, my first question is, why not? Why don't you know? What is it that can take you to a space of knowing that information and finding out so that you and your partner can come to a whole new level of understanding? Now, the third thing, what is it that you're willing to push the envelope on? Are you willing to find new ideas, new ways, new enjoyable things that can mix up your play? All of those things matter. When you take the time to have that conversation, sometimes it might come out a little different because you're coming up with this plan and pulling your partner in, or if it's independent, you still have to dig deep to find those answers. Trust me, without those answers, that plan, it's not really a plan, it's kind of an outline, an unfinished one. And my job today is for you and your partner or you solo to figure out what that plan is, what it looks like, and how you're going to bring that in real time. Our pleasure plan sometimes can get derailed because a lot of times what we really want sometimes gets thrown out because we think we are either undeserving, we think we are not supposed to do that, or we feel as though it's too far, it's too much. Who says that? Who is the person that comes up with that, I don't know, that list that says you're not supposed to do this, this is unacceptable, you're not supposed to enjoy pleasure this way? Nobody ever said that. So don't allow anyone to put you in that invisible box. My job is to make sure that you are unshamed. You're able to speak confidently about what you want. And your pleasure plan allows for that confidence to be built in a way that says, I am fucking here and I am going to enjoy every bit of this, every drop of it, and it's mine to own. It's mine to flip upside down, turn it inside out, and put it as part of me, because it is. Your pleasure is your birthright. I say it all the time. Pleasure is not this secondary thing that we should just throw away. But first, we have to be intentional about receiving it. We have to be intentional about going to get it. And we have to ask ourselves those questions. And even if you don't know, that's okay. It's so much fun learning. It's so much fun and it's so sexy to be able to get in a space and says, oh, I didn't know that about me. I didn't know that would make me wet. I didn't know that would make my cock hard. I didn't know any of that. But without the information, what happens? Nothing. And all you're doing is cheating yourself. Now, if you have a partner, your pleasure plan should definitely be something that you talk to your partner about. Bring them in, ask them questions. Now, it may feel a little weird, especially if you guys are not the kind of couple that talks about the sex, you simply do it. Now, there's a danger in that because the boundaries are not really discussed. Consent is not anything that's even thought about. We just go with it. Don't we want more than that? Shouldn't our sex life be something that's based off of what our wants and our needs are and what we crave and desire? But we're not taught that. Society says when you meet a guy, he's going to be perfect. You lay down, he's going to have the most perfect this, you're going to have the most perfect that. You guys are going to breed simultaneously. You're going to throw each other against the wall. Now, I done had a lot of sex, and I promise you, a lot of times, that don't happen unless you cultivate it. You got to take the time. Now, there are some people that are gifted and really, lucky that every time they have sex, they might have sex with an amazing partner. And it's something that doesn't really need to be talked about. But for the vast majority of humans, that is not the case. So for all of us that are wanting and desiring something that is so taboo, let's dig deep. Let's dig deep in a way that just allows for our real sexual expression to be seen by ourselves and our partner. When you bring your partner in, ask those questions. What turns you on? You may have been with them 20 years, but unless you ask the question, do you really know? We're just operating off of muscle memory. What makes their cock hard? What makes the vulva wet? But guess what? Your vulva can get even wetter if you have that conversation. That cock might get even bigger and longer and thicker just because you're tapping into the space that people say we're not supposed to go. And that's where I thrive. I love being this person that pushes the envelope for my benefit. I'm pushing my pleasure envelope because I want to see what's inside. Trust me, it's a Pandora box. And once it's open, I never want it closed. I want it open always to share with my partner, for us to maybe share with another person, or for me to enjoy for myself. For me and my space and my pleasure, a lot is on the table. There is not a lot that I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Because again, if we don't know, How can we so confidently say we're not into that? I don't want that. We're cheating ourselves. Let's stop that. Let's start to ask those questions. Now, if we are in a space where we're telling our partner what we like and what we don't like, and it's not really syncing up, we have to find alternatives that suit both parties. So you might not be into what your partner's serving. However, there's also things that can be done that your partner's into. And you have to be able to talk about that to unravel it. Because without it, we're just doing the same thing every single day and going off the last moan that either one of us got. It's not any information that's tangible. It's not any information that was given by either ourselves or our partners. We just laid down and we started touching and moving and all of that different stuff. That's human nature. And anatomy and biology says that your body is going to respond. My pleasure plan, it deserves more. It craves more. It has to have more. I don't want just biology and anatomy to do what it does. I want a sex life that has Crystal Jones at the head and the foot of the page. I need it because anything else, it's not for me. And I need you to have that same energy. Do not allow anybody to tell you that your pleasure is something to play about. Be intentional about it. Without it, we're just here. And I refuse for that to happen. So are you ready to develop your pleasure plan? We're going to go through 3 steps. First, we want to start by really inviting our partner or ourselves. We want to create a space where it encourages intimacy, whether that's music, whether that's scents, lighting, right? You want to set the mood. You don't want to have this conversation at Applebee's. You want to make sure that when this conversation is taking place, it's in the sexiest of sexy, and it allows for your partner to really tap into that connection and intimacy. The second thing we want to do, we want to set the stage and schedule playtime. Usually, I am not for scheduling sex, but for this plan, we want to ensure that we're scheduling playtime, whether it's independent or partnered. We want to schedule it so we can make sure that we are being intentional. The third thing we want to do is explore and expand. Like, we're going to update this plan as often as we can. But when we explore, we're taking a deep dive. When we expand, that means when we learn things, we're adding that to our play box. Without it, what are we doing? The exact same thing before the plan even came into our heads. Do not underestimate these steps. It draws us closer to a cultivated, finished plan that we can use in our lives every single day to get us the sex life that we really desire and crave. Trust me, you do not want to skip over any one of them. Every step is just as important as the one before. And when you get to the end, start right back over and continue that until that plan is very robust and is everything that your mind can imagine. So how do we keep this going? 1, we check in monthly. Things change. We want to continue to have open dialogue and communicate about what we're thinking about. We want to monthly maybe do a new fantasy every single month. So think about it. 12 months out of the year, that means you have 12 opportunities to get 12 fantasies under your belt. How exciting does that sound? If we really take the time to look at what we're talking about today, Oh, it's a sexy, amazing, erotic time. But we have to do those things. Communication is something that is so overlooked because we just assume that it's just sex. I don't have time for that. I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm an employer, I'm an employee, I'm busy, I have a career. But you also desire pleasure. So make it on the top of your list. We want to, lastly, make pleasure non-negotiable, not just an activity that we make, time for. It's non-negotiable. The pleasure must be here. The pleasure must happen. And I am not accepting anything less. So how do you do this every day or every month or every whenever with your partner? It's all up to you. It's your timeline. Create it how you want it to be, but do it unshamed. Do it with your chest and say it loudly and proudly that this is what you crave and this is what you need. And if your partner is willing, you are off to the races. I really hope that you guys really, really, really look into this plan, because without it, you are going to be in the same space you've always been. Now, before we go, I want you to understand that my homework for you is to, for the next month, think of 4 fantasies. You don't have to do them. Just think of 4 fantasies that you might want to dibble and dabble on, and start from there. Let your fantasies lead your plan, because it's going to get you outside of that box mentally. So then you're able to have that conversation with your partner. It doesn't have to be the wildest thing in the box. It just has to be in the box. And you have to just mentally be able to pull that out and be willing to give that to your partner, or even yourself if you're independent, and be able to communicate that. I like this. I want this. I need this. I crave this. And be able to give that to your partner, and hopefully they can give it right back to you. I hope this episode truly helped you understand how important pleasure is and how important it is to prioritize it. Remember, your pleasure is my passion, and I'm always going to give it to you as hard or as soft as you desire. Everything is on the table here at Sex Talk with Khrys. I'll see you next time. Bye.